closed for business. Companies defying public health orders learned that the city of Denver and the state of Colorado aren't playing around anymore. Then there's the gray area of the stores that sell essential supplies right next to patio furniture. You know how I feel about that. Different parts of Colorado are handling enforcement of the stay-at-home order differently. And then there are all the people going to great lengths to be generous, to entertain, and to be helpful, even if it's a risk to themselves. The best of Colorado is next. The state of Colorado and the city of Denver are losing their patience with businesses that continue to defy the public health orders in place due to COVID-19. The heart of the resistance in Denver, at least, has been the appliance factory warehouse stores, which declared themselves to be essential, even though the city disagrees. Minutes ago, city workers showed up to chain the doors. The city and state orders direct that non-essential businesses are to close or to work remotely. Appliance Factory decided that they would not abide by that public health order. So Denver's health department cited them 3 times over the course of the last week. It appears tonight that their patience has run out. Hobby Lobby also defied orders to close until the state attorney general got involved last night and directed them to shut down immediately. Marshall Zellinger continues to follow COVID-19's impact on businesses.
If this is how you're shopping, is it essential to be shopping? All week, Next and 9 Wants to Know has heard from viewers complaining about businesses being open that maybe shouldn't be. This story is about businesses allowed to be open with customers buying items that maybe aren't really critical.
I saw a couple shopping for patio furniture, stuff for landscaping, planting. Not essential items.
Terry Kratzer is an electrical contractor and deemed essential under the state's stay-at-home order. Hardware and building material stores are essential too, but they also sell non-essential goods.
There was one couple that was shopping for plants. In my opinion, not essential items that they need to be out shopping for right now.
In Summit County, the local public health order restricts the purchase of non-essential goods at businesses that can be open, like Target. So should that be the case statewide?
That's a sticky one. I can't say that there's a better way to handle this than what they already are.
This week, Home Depot sent the state a letter listing how it's adding benefits for its employees and ensuring safety inside with social distancing practices and new signs, but no mention of what to do with non-essential items.
It's definitely a tough situation to say what's right and what's wrong to handle it.
Will be any guidance from the state? Waiting to hear back from the governor's office for guidance from the state to see if what's going on in Summit County would work statewide. I know we've heard from a lot of people that are just concerned about their own health and the health of others. And you saw that very first person in that story, Kyle, with the full-on mask and goggles. The question everyone has to ask themselves is it essential for me to go out? Do I need those plants today? Or do I need that electrical wiring that's going to help keep my lights on at home?
It kind of goes back, Marshall, to something that we heard the governor say. I forget whether it was earlier this week or last week. The days blur together, you know. But he encouraged folks, instead of looking at the exact letter of the law, can I get away with this? Just use a little common sense and look at it and be like, well, we know it's in place to keep me and other people alive. Is what I'm doing within the spirit of it?
And what we heard from Terry in that story was he needs to go to stores like that to get what he needs for his business. And everybody, as you just said, they just need to be making that decision for themselves. I'm not saying that anyone's doing anything wrong, but the question is, do you need to go out or should you stay at home?
We knew it was going to come back to furniture, patio furniture. We knew it eventually would. Thank you, Marshall. So while Marshall's been talking about enforcement issues throughout this week, we don't want to lose sight of the fact that there are business owners out there who are going to incredible lengths to reconfigure their businesses in a way that they can continue to serve the public, be safe, and get people the paychecks that they need. We want to share those stories as well. So if you know of a business that is bending over backwards to help the public and public health and its employees, email me next@9news.com or get my attention with the hashtag PayNext. Colorado has lost its first known first responder to COVID-19. One of the 17 new deaths reported this afternoon was El Paso County Sheriff's Deputy Jeff Hopkins. He died before his positive test came back. He is one of 97 Coloradans now known to have died from coronavirus. Deputy Hopkins was 41. The latest numbers show 3,728 confirmed cases in our state, a jump of almost 400 from Tuesday. 710 people have been hospitalized and more than 20,000 people have been tested. It's a number that updated on us late today. The testing rate has slowed down in recent days, and the state says that backups at private labs have been the issue. Governor Jared Polis's emergency declaration gives him sweeping powers to do any number of things, including to seize private property. Now, I want to be very clear, that is not something we have ever heard him suggest that he wants to do or plans to do. But advocates for the homeless in Denver think that he should do it. An attorney, Jason Flores Williams, is going to court trying to force the state to take empty housing units in Denver and convert them into housing for people who are homeless. Denver Homeless Out Loud estimates there are more than 19,000 unoccupied housing units in Denver. Between those and empty hotel rooms, these activists say there's more than enough space to accommodate all the people who don't currently have a home. We reached out to the governor's team about this idea, and they did not immediately respond to our questions about the court filing. Colorado has 2,700 volunteers with medical experience who are standing by waiting to help in the fight against COVID-19. We know that there are doctors and nurses who have already come out of retirement to help, and some of them presumably are in the at-risk category for coronavirus. Our Anusha Roy looks at how that risk is being mitigated.
Retiring was the right decision, but it wasn't an easy one for Dr. Lori Schakowsky.
It's very hard to give up practicing medicine because I wanted to be a doctor since I was 13.
It's been 3 years since she took a step back from Denver Health and 1 week since she found herself back at work.
When Governor Polis made the announcement, the day I heard it, I contacted the people I worked with back at Denver Health.
Now she's specifically helping other medical providers at Denver Health and city employees.
The people that keep everybody else well, we keep them well.
Some people are coming back to paid positions. The governor's office says more than 2,700 so far are volunteering.
Thank you, Colorado, for stepping up in our time of need.
That includes students, healthcare professionals picking up extra hours, and 350 people who were retired or over the age of 65.
My children were concerned. They said, "Are you really going to do this?" But I think it's the right thing to do. And
so it worked out that Dr. Schakowsky is working via telehealth. And it's not just doctors stepping up, but nurses too. The Colorado Center for Nursing Excellence said some nurses are being asked to care for sicker patients. So the nurses coming back to work help people who aren't as ill. The state was already dealing with an uneven distribution of nurses, which means there's likely a shortage in parts of rural Colorado and underserved communities. To help, the center is asking the state to waive some requirements for students and sub in more virtual work so that they aren't held back from graduating and can actually join the workforce, especially since some healthcare systems are so overburdened by COVID-19, they're having a hard time onboarding students.
You want to help. You want to be able to do something.
For Next, I'm Anusha Roy.
Colorado state legislators could come back to work later this month wearing protective equipment, PPEs, inside the state capitol. Politics guy Marshall Zellinger asked the Democratic House Speaker Casey Becker of Boulder whether she's comfortable with the idea of people seeing politicians in the protective equipment that healthcare workers can't get.
I don't know that we are comfortable. I think it's something that we have to consider because we aren't going to have a choice about continuing the work of the legislature. We have to explore all options. And I don't know if that's one that's going to be possible. And if it's not possible today, would it be in a month? And if it is possible in a month, is that still the best way to go?
The state legislature, if it does nothing else, must pass a budget and the School Finance Act by June 1st. How can I help? It is one of the most frequently asked questions that our next team gets every single day. And the simplest answer is, if you find yourself in a position to do even the smallest thing, do it. I'll tell you the story of Logan Moorman. So he works at an Ace Hardware in Highlands Ranch. A little over a week ago, Dr. Ben Chang from St. Anthony Hospital in Lakewood came into the hardware store looking for protective gear, specifically hoped to find some masks. The Ace was sold out. But Logan, who does some woodworking and painting, offered to give Dr. Chang 3 N95 masks that he had at home.
Logan is the one who really went kind of above and beyond and really stepped out of his normal comfort zone. He could have easily just taken me to the aisle in the store and said, hey, sorry, we're all out, and then left it at that. But he kind of went that extra mile. A small act like what Logan did for me, I think that's what's going to help get us through all of this.
I decided that doctors need them more than I do, so wanted to give them away to somebody who would put good use to them. It wasn't too much, but anything helps, you know.
Yeah. Yes, it does. Logan tells us that he sees healthcare workers coming into his hardware store every single day looking for protective equipment. Dr. Chang tells us that St. A's is good right now on PPE for the moment, but he has been out there scouting for masks just in case they run out. To the people who keep our state going up and coming down, Colorado appreciates you. Our nightly statewide shout out goes out to elevator and escalator techs. Now, I never would have thought of this, honestly, but our viewer Jennifer reminded us of the critical work that those techs are doing, especially at medical facilities and senior living centers and group homes. So how about it? Let's hear it for them. Who do you think deserves a shout out for keeping Colorado in operation during the coronavirus outbreak? You can text me your suggestions, 303-871-1491. The Broncos aren't practicing, but the Elk are, and so is the piano player who used to fill the Brown Palace with beautiful music.
When you start to play, people will listen.
No afternoon tea means no live music inside that famous hotel, but the band would still like to play for you. Next. Parts of Colorado are returning to nature these days. Before there were humans on the Golden High School football field, there were elk on the Golden High School football field. The football field, I assume, is probably a geological figure and has a feature and has always been there. Ray Child spotted the elk out there earlier this week. He thinks that this is the same herd that's usually near the Fossil Trace golf course, but with school out and nobody around to shoo them away, the herd just hung out on the football field for almost 5 hours. We asked Colorado Parks and Wildlife, as well as Rocky Mountain National Park, if they have been seeing different animal behavior because of the different ways that humans are behaving. They said they hadn't really seen that yet, but honestly, more observations over time will give them a better idea. Speaking of how humans gather and behave, who says that gathering parts of a big family for a brunch can't be done anymore? Tim sent us a photo of various parts of his family. They got together for brunch in their cars outside the Graceful Cafe in Littleton. We want to keep seeing your great examples of social distancing and your not so great examples of social distancing. Send them both to next@9news.com or give us a shout with the hashtag #HeyNext.
I'm meteorologist Kathy Sabin. Today, freezing fog and light snow. Temperatures were some 43 degrees colder than this time yesterday. That high of 40, we hit that early this morning. Temperatures have held in the 20s all afternoon, and now the snow band is beginning to move into Denver. Light snow overnight, about an inch or two on the grass. The storm is out of here by tomorrow morning. We get some sunshine, just not much of a warming trend, not until we hit Saturday. Cloudy, cold, 18 with that freezing fog, an inch or two of snow on the grass. Tomorrow, partly sunny. Highs in the mid-40s. Lovely warming trend for the weekend. Close to 60 Saturday, close to 70 on Sunday. 70s as we kick off the first part of next week.
Spring snow sure is a nice distraction from everything that's going on in the world these days. It has our meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen feeling poetic. But then again, that man is always feeling poetic.
Corey Reppenhagen is on the weather beat.
Spring flakes are sloppy. Many watched this storm from home. Wish there was hockey.
That was Corey Reppenhagen on the weather beat.
The famous piano in the lobby of the Brown Palace Hotel has gone silent, but not the pianist.
I have a lot of time to practice now. I've been practicing songs that I've wanted to learn for, I don't know, years.
A socially distant sidewalk concert for you. Next. Our days are kind of this strange mix of radical departures from everyday life and then just kind of this numbing sameness where every day seems just like the one before. But people are changing the way that works, the way they work. It even goes for our photojournalist Mike Grady. He's not doing interviews inside anymore for safety reasons. But outside the Brown Palace, we found quite the story.
Ready?
Yeah, whenever you guys are good.
All right. Don't get around much anymore. I've never played on a sidewalk before, and I've certainly never played outside of the Brown Palace, so this is a whole new experience for all of us, I think.
Denver's longest continuously operating hotel.
So we just ran an extension cord from my piano over to his car, and ta-da, we got it.
This is John Kite, the Brown Palace's pianist of the last 33 years.
33 years. Yeah. So, I'll get there, I promise. They closed, we had to close the restaurants and the bars in Denver to keep this virus at bay. And so all the restaurants and bars in the Brown Palace had to close.
And that really drove the decision to cancel music as well. Without guests in the hotel able to gather, there wasn't much reason to keep music going.
Yes, that was tough. I don't want to minimize that. But what I will tell you is that I am sincerely hopeful that this isn't going to last. I mean, 2 months out of 33 years, I can weather this storm, you know? The best part about today is getting to play music. I just see some folks coming out on the sidewalk over there and waving at us, and this has been cool. It's been fun.
Gave me a taste of what we will be back to one day.
This would be like coming home. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. We're going to be strong again. I'm certain of it. No, yeah.
The Brown Palace continues its streak as the oldest continuously operating hotel in Denver, but just barely. The normal staff of 300 is down to a skeleton crew of about a dozen people. They hope to bring back John and his band and the rest of the staff as soon as hotels are a thing that we do anymore. Colorado is stuck in place. Lucky us. That and your feedback next. It's a sign that if you have to stay close to home somewhere, home in Colorado is a pretty decent place to do it. You know, Michael sent me this sign. We are sheltering in place in Colorado. It does not get any better than that. Certainly understand that the level of sacrifice is not the same for every person, every family, every business. That's the reason why we're going to continue to explore the situations of folks who are making the best situation and folks who need our help pretty urgently if they're going to keep their business or their family afloat. Kevin Henry says, thanks, Hey Next, for that little bit of music. Good to hear. Can't wait to hear Inside the Brown Palace again. And Mark says, maybe you should expose this ratting out of neighbors and their businesses as what the Nazis encouraged. Let's not go there with the Nazi stuff, all right? Everybody understands that this is a different situation. Don't lose our heads, all right? See you next time.